Hi, I'm Cheryl Reid, and I'm going to present my life cycle PBL. Let's see here. There we go. Okay, in case you're like me, there is a difference between project-based and problem-based learning. I've got some definitions that I'm going to share in my own words. Project-based learning is defined in my own words as an extended project worked on for several weeks to respond to a problem, challenge, question, keeping students engaged by its complexity. Problem-based learning is defined in my own words as student-centered learning in an environment with a central question, also known as the problem that students work to answer in small groups with defined roles. Now, we all know that group work comes with its, let's see, what word shall I use? It comes with challenges. But if we are strategic and place the right students in the right groups, we can always make sure that there are some students there that are able to kind of bring things back to the forefront and make sure that everybody's still on task. The great thing about having students working together is that that sense of community that you've been building and building and building really comes out whenever students are working together for central focus, or they're working together in with the same goal at the end. Beginning with the end in mind really always comes to play with that for me. Um, uh, Stephen Covey wrote a book, Seven Habits for Highly Effective People, and throughout everything that I do, no matter what, begin with the end in mind always pops into my head. Okay, now that that's clear, let me share with you my audience. I have second grade city kids, and so this unit is designed for these students who attend a school that is literally 3 minutes from downtown Nashville. What is a cycle? These are some of the things that students have shared over time. A cycle is something that keeps going. Is it like recycle? It's something that happens over and over and over again. They've been exposed to some cycles previously, but we're going to go a little bit different, a different angle, and compare cycles, life cycles of four different fruit trees, frogs, chickens, and butterflies. So that's going to be a pretty interesting situation with second graders. The driving question we're going to use is, what if life cycles of a fruit tree, butterfly, chicken, and frog were the same? Would there be any problems? So that gets us into the actual stages of the life cycle, and they'll be able to see so many different things and see where butterflies don't start off as butterflies. Fruit trees, whatever one, we could of course just say apple, for instance, doesn't start off as an apple. A chicken, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? That's always an interesting question. What comes first, the frog or the egg? And nothing in any of those life cycles would be starting off like they are. And we could even give an example or show how we as people don't start off like we are. We have to grow into what we are at the present moment and what we will become. So that's always a, a little bit of a different perspective for them to be able to see day to day, especially if they have younger siblings, or even if their family, if they're the only child in their families, but they are exposed to family photos that they've seen over the years. All right, and then we want to make it very, very clear to kiddos that they can identify life cycles in their communities, in their neighborhoods, and in their state. There's so many different things that are living around them that they just would have never even thought about that have had a life cycle. So we're just trying to open them up and make sure that they are exposed to the information that is available for them. Now, we've been talking about climates and weather in different parts of our country and the other continents as well. So we have talked about the extreme differences in Antarctica as well as other places that are in opposite seasons than we are. So the next question that I would love for them to be able to delve into is, would life cycles in the United States be different from life cycles in Antarctica? Would there be any problems? When you have different types of animals and species and plants, they have to be in different environments, and seeing that students are able to see that, making sure, excuse me, that students are able to see that across the globe is amazing, an amazing experience for them as well. And of course, we are covering all kinds of Tennessee Common Core state standards, compare the life cycles of various organisms, compare and contrast the life cycles of different organisms such as chicken, butterfly, mealworm, frog, or human. Now we've kind of pulled in our own, of course, just to make it a little more, make the kids all be able to connect to it more. Realize that parents pass along physical characteristics to their offspring. Another spinoff activity could be to bring in the picture of the parent that you look like the most, and let's do a comparison, and we can see if there's a baby picture and another baby picture. We can um, have other students to try to figure out who that is, um, with a who am I kind of situation. And then we can sequence a collection of pictures or illustrations in the correct stages of the organism's life cycle so that we can answer that, what comes first, the chicken or the egg. We can see, of course, there has to initially be a chicken in order to lay the egg, or a frog in order to lay that pod of eggs, or the apple that has to have the seed inside in order for us to plant it again, or the butterfly definitely has to be an egg first. So, where did that first egg come from? Well, is always the very interesting question that comes along with that. And most of the time, I don't give a very straight answer. I allow them to have that conversation along with themselves, because that's something that they're able to do. And it promotes their thinking and critical thinking as well. Okay, so along with each of the which with each of the comparisons that we have for the life cycles, we will be developing cycle books. And this is just a template of the cycle book, where the page one through whatever page they need to go to, depending on how many stages of life are in that life cycle. And they will make that book for each of the different species that we're going to be studying, and then we will compare them, and then we will present them as well to Mrs. Smith's younger kiddos in kindergarten. Of course, second graders just think they're the old kids in the class, in the school, even though they've still got 2 years left after second grade is over. So making that and making sure that the stages are sequentially sound, and making sure that the stages are labeled correctly. And I know that drawing pictures is something that they like to do. And some of these stages are a little bit difficult to depict from a second grade perspective, but I encourage that, and um, help. I try to encourage that and make sure that they are very confident in what they're doing. Okay, so then the culminating activity at the very end it will be to share what you've learned, and we would like to use so many different technological applications that they could um, compile all of their information that they've uh, researched and given information about, and learned along the way. So Haiku Deck is a really good Wordle. They can use Wordle all the way throughout, just with all the different vocabulary that they will learn. Powtoon, of course, that's something that I like. I'm using it right now. Prezi is awesome. Raw Shorts is amazing. Powtoon Slides actually is really good instead of using a less animated version of something similar that you would use for slides. Sparkle is awesome as well. And here are my sources.
Created using Powtoon.
Well, thank you so much. I hope you all have enjoyed my PBL. I've enjoyed sharing. All right, I hope you all have a good one.